Hello. It's been a while since I've made a video, and now that we are coming around to my son's first birthday, I thought it might be time to finally do the post-birth how it all went down vlog. I have been putting this off, honestly. If I'm being honest, I have been putting it off because there were some complications. So, Friday, July 16th, 2021, we went in for the C-section. Good morning. It is 5 o'clock in the morning on July 16th. And we are about to head to the hospital. Whew, let's do this. Hey, you ready?
Yup. Although I think asking me if I'm ready is kind of, you know, that's not the big question. Are you ready?
Right. For sure, let's go have this baby. Went very early. Everything went well, getting signed in. So I didn't realize it was going to be this hard to talk about because like this part was actually the best part. It was really easy to go in. It was early, but it was easy. But okay, so Friday morning we go in. I believe the C-section was scheduled for 8 and he was born at 8:30ish. It was the most textbook repeat C-section I could have. I didn't feel a thing until of course like afterwards, but the thing that I was most scared of was I had had an epidural for about 24 hours before I had my first son and ended up going in for an emergency C-section, and I felt things to the point where they knocked me out. I was really worried that was going to happen this time. It didn't. I didn't feel anything. Travis was born and it was beautiful and it was wonderful, and I got to hold him and I got to see him when he came out, and that was such a big deal and it was so good. So then we go back to the room and everything's fine. They wanted to keep me in there at least 3 days because I have high blood pressure, so they wanted to like monitor me and make sure everything was okay. So about 48 hours after Travis was born, everything had been going really smooth. He was latching great. Everything was going well. And my husband was changing his diaper. And there was a lot of blood. I guess I should say trigger warning. But there was a lot of blood. And we asked a nurse to come look. And the pediatric guy who was there to like make sure the babies were good, he had just come by and like signed off on like whenever we wanted to take him home we could. And he came back because he was still in the building. And he looked and they were all just confused, and I'm going, what is happening? And then they take him to the NICU. And I'm freaking out because I don't know what's wrong. And they were supposed, I don't even remember, the days honestly start blurring. I believe they were thinking about discharging me on Monday, but then we still didn't know what was happening with Travis, and they were running all sorts of tests, and they told me I couldn't feed him anymore because they wanted to like empty his stomach to make sure nothing was going wrong. And so he was hooked up and they were taking x-rays and they were doing blood tests and all this stuff, and none of that, we can't know what's happening because these tests have to take time to run. So we were just waiting. And I hit my lowest point when I didn't know what was happening. And they confirmed he was staying in the NICU. And I just wanted to be out of the room. I just wanted to be discharged so I could go up and be with him. I could go home, because we were in the room, I think it was 4 days. I think it was ended up being 4 or 5 days. And I was absolutely distraught. And because I was so distraught, my blood pressure shot up. So of course they're worrying about me. And I'm like, I don't even care. I didn't want to be in the room anymore. I didn't want to be in the room where my baby wasn't. It's just, it was really hard. The good news is, obviously he's about to be 1. Spoiler, everything is fine. But what happened is, roughly, again, another 48 hours go by. And it was a Wednesday. I do remember it was Wednesday. Wednesday, we finally sit down with a pediatric surgeon. And they say that they think what it is, and I can't remember the name of it. But basically, they believe that he has a twist in his gut. So his intestine is slightly twisted, which it's not bad enough that they know that's what it is, but it's a bad thing if that's what it is, because that means that it could eventually block food. So the pediatric surgeon sits down with us and he says, okay, so here are your options. 1, we go into surgery and we find out what's wrong, and it's what we think it is, and we fix it. 2, we go in, we find out it's something different, we fix it. 3, we don't do surgery because we can't guarantee that's what's wrong with him, but there could be something. So we elected to send him in for surgery. The funny thing is that we never found out why there was so much blood. Our guess is that he swallowed some during the surgery when he came out during my C-section, but we don't actually know. But from all of these tests, that is how we found out he had this thing. So he goes in for surgery on Thursday. He was 6 days old. He goes in for surgery. He comes out. The surgery went perfect. It was exactly what they thought it was. This weird twist in his gut where it's like it just didn't fold itself in properly. And he just has to recover. And so at that point, Cody and I can breathe again, because the worst is over. The worst was not knowing. The worst was those 2 days, 2.5 days, where he's sitting in the NICU and they're running a test after test and we didn't know what was wrong with him. But we're past that. So we wait.
I want food, he says. Nom.
Yeah. Oh,
Yum.
big yawn. What are you looking at, sweetie? Oh. Okay, buddy, we're gonna go home, okay?
Love you.
Love you, sweetie. We are so grateful our parents were able to keep watching Graham for a little bit longer so that we could have a little bit more time with Travis while he was recovering. He ended up coming home the following Wednesday. I believe he was in the NICU for about 10 days total. His recovery was great. We were with him basically every day from 9 or 10 a.m. to about 7 or 8 at night, sometimes a little bit, obviously adjusted a little bit, but we were there all day. So we brought him home on Wednesday. He's been doing absolutely amazing. We have seen a surgeon for like a follow-up just to feel his scar, and they've said everything seems to be fine. There is always going to be a small like possibility that something could twist again, but that's gonna be the case with the surgery, and it's a small thing, and as he gets older it'll be easier to keep track of because he'll be able to communicate with us when something is wrong. The other thing, of course, because there's always more, the other thing that they discovered when they were running tests is that he has what's called a bicuspid valve on his heart. So instead of like 3 leaves, he has 2 that are kind of conjoined. So we're going in. We went in a lot this last year for what's called an echo, which is basically like an ultrasound on your heart. And we'll do that, I believe, once a year for a while just to monitor it. But all of his things, we are so grateful because everything that he had was so mild. These could have been a lot worse, and we are so grateful that it has been as mild as it is. We're so grateful that he's recovered the way that he has. He's a beautiful, beautiful boy, and I can't wait to share more of our family because he just fits in so well, and we love him, and we are so happy that we're about to celebrate his birthday. But this is it. This is the whole thing. The whole birth story, which the birth story itself, not that bad. Afterwards was a little tough. So there you have it. That's it. So thank you for being patient with me and holding in there while I dealt with the stresses that the second kid has put me through. And I'm sure there will be no shortage of headaches from either of my children. But thank you so much for sticking with me. This is it. This is it for number 2. Number 3 is a question mark for a lot of different reasons, but that's its own thing. So I don't know if to say until next time, or I guess just check us out in our other videos.